The Adjust Profile View Range command will adjust the minimum and maximum grid elevations for any number of profile views. The Adjust Profile View Range command is developed and provided by WizDot. I have a profile view here, and there's two things that I don't like about it. Let me zoom in here on the left. I have a label hanging off here on the bottom, and I also have another label hanging off here at the top. I really don't want to regenerate this whole profile view again, so there's a tool to adjust the grid just by itself and not have to do the whole thing. If I go up to here and click on my Adjust Profile View Range, it's going to ask me to select the profile views. I can pick more than one, but I just have one here, so I'll select this one. Next thing it's going to ask me for is to enter a minimum elevation, and I can type in an exact elevation, or I can click Same to keep this the same. And I'm going to click Same here. I'm going to do this top label first, so I'll click Same. It's going to ask me to determine the height by either a new height or a specific elevation. And by height, it means the distance between the bottom and the top. So I happen to know that this is 100 feet here. So I'm going to say new height. And I'm going to type in 110. And you can see now my grid has jumped up here and my labels nicely in the whole grid. Now I have to take care of this bottom label here. So I'll do the command again. Adjust Profile View Range. Select my profile view. Hit Enter. It's going to ask me for a minimum elevation or the same. I certainly don't want the same because this is hanging off here, so I want to enter a minimum elevation. Go over here, I have 3540, 3530. So if I enter 3520, that should take care of it. And it's going to ask me again to determine the height. And this is where it gets a little tricky in this command. I can pick a new height, which means the total distance between the bottom and the top. The same height, which means that this grid will stay the same size, but everything else will move inside of it. Or I can pick a specific elevation. So let's see what happens if I pick Same. You can see everything shifted up, but the grid stayed in the same place. And so I fixed my bottom label here, but now my top label's hanging off. So let's take care of that. Do the same command here. Select my profile view and hit Enter. And I want the same elevation at the bottom because I like that label there. And then I'm going to determine the height this time, not by a new height. I just don't want to have to counter measure that. It's easier for me to pick an elevation, so I'll pick an elevation. And I'll zoom over here. I have 3630, so let me add 10 feet to that. 3640. Hit Enter. And now I have my label nicely within the grid on both ends.